There are moments in life that divide everything into before and after. Moments that arrive quietly, almost unnoticed, yet leave behind a change so deep that nothing remains the same. This is the story of one such miracle. Not of magic, not of sudden riches, not of some dramatic vision from the heavens, but of faith. A faith tested in hunger, in despair, and in hopelessness. A faith that bloomed when I least expected it. I grew up in a small town where dreams were scarce and survival was the only goal. My father was a laborer. My mother sold vegetables by the roadside. We lived day to day, hoping the next day would be kinder. When I was 17, my father fell ill. What little savings we had vanished into medicine and hospital visits. One by one, our belongings left the house. My father's tools, my mother's bangles, even the wooden chair on which my grandfather used to sit every evening. And then came the darkest night of all. We had no food left. My mother sat silently in the corner, staring at the empty vessels. My younger sister cried herself to sleep. I looked at my father's weak frame on the bed and felt anger rise in my chest. "Why us?" I whispered. "Why must we suffer like this? Where is God now?" For the first time in my life, I doubted the very faith that had carried my family through every hardship. The next morning, unable to bear the silence of my hungry home, I walked aimlessly through the village fields. My legs carried me to the old temple on the hill, though I had no intention of praying. There, sitting under the banyan tree, was an old man I had never seen before. His clothes were simple, his beard long and white, and his eyes calm, as though he carried within them the wisdom of centuries. "You look troubled, my son," he said gently. I was startled. Troubled? My family is starving. My father is dying, and there is no way out. Tell me, what use is faith now? The old man didn't scold me. He didn't tell me I was wrong to question. He simply picked up a small seed that had fallen from the tree and placed it in my palm. "Do you see this? It is nothing right now. Just a seed, small, powerless, insignificant, but inside it lives a forest. All it needs is soil, water, and time. Faith is the same. It does not erase your hunger today, but it carries the power to grow miracles tomorrow." I wanted to dismiss his words as riddles, but something in his eyes made me pause. "Go home. Take care of your family. Do what you can, but don't give up believing that life can still bloom." Before I could ask him who he was, he stood up and walked away down the hill. I never saw him again. That night, I sat with my mother. We had nothing but a handful of lentils left. Instead of despair, I remembered the old man's seed. I told my mother, "We will cook this little food we have. We will eat together. And tomorrow, I will find a way. We will not give up." It was the first time in weeks that my voice carried strength instead of fear. My mother looked at me with tired eyes, but for the first time, I saw a spark of relief. The next day, I knocked on doors asking for work. Most turned me away. But one shopkeeper gave me a chance to sweep his store for a little pay. With that money, I bought bread and milk for my sister. It wasn't much, but it was a beginning. Days turned into weeks. I worked wherever I could, sweeping floors, carrying loads, helping farmers in their fields. Slowly, food returned to our table. My father's health began to stabilize. My sister smiled again. But the true miracle wasn't just survival. It was the change inside me. The boy who once questioned faith now found strength in it. Every small opportunity felt like a seed planted by unseen hands. Every act of kindness from strangers felt like rain watering the soil of my life. And then one day, something extraordinary happened. A man from a neighboring town came to the shop where I worked. He was looking for someone trustworthy to help manage his small warehouse. The shopkeeper pointed at me. He may be young, but he is honest. He works hard and he does not complain. The man looked at me and smiled. "Come with me. Let's see what you can do." That job changed everything. It paid better, gave me stability, and opened doors I never imagined. I learned about accounts, about trade, about trust. Within a few years, I was no longer just a helper. I was managing businesses, making decisions, earning respect. The boy who once stood hungry by an empty pot was now feeding not just his family, but many others. Now when I look back, I realize the miracle was not money suddenly falling from the sky. The miracle was not someone rescuing us overnight.
The miracle was faith returning to me in the shape of a seed. It was the courage to believe that tomorrow could be better, even when today was unbearable. It was the strength to keep walking, even when the road seemed endless. That old man under the banyan tree, was he a saint, an angel, or just a wise traveler? I may never know, but his words became the turning point of my life. I tell this story because many of you listening right now might be standing in your own season of emptiness. Maybe your family is struggling. Maybe your health is failing. Maybe your heart is broken and you see no way forward. You may even be asking the same question I once asked. Where is God now? Where is hope? Let me tell you, hope is not gone. Faith may feel small, like a seed, but inside it lives a forest. No, it will not erase your pain overnight. But if you hold on, if you keep sowing, if you keep moving forward one step at a time, the miracle will bloom. It may not arrive in the way you expect. It may not come as riches or fame, but it will come as strength, as peace, as the quiet power to rebuild your life when everything else is broken. Today, when I sit with my children and share a meal, I often think of that night when we had nothing but lentils. I think of my mother's silent tears, my father's fragile body, my sister's cries, and I think of the old man who handed me a seed. The miracle that changed my life was not the food on the table, nor the money I earned later.
The miracle was faith, reborn in a starving boy's heart. And if it could happen to me, it can happen to you. So remember, miracles are not always loud. They don't always shake the earth or split the sky. Sometimes they arrive quietly, like a seed in your hand. And when they do, hold on to them, nurture them, because from the smallest seed, the mightiest forest can grow.